Boom. Hello, Internet. Welcome to another Live Connection podcast. I'm your host, Peter, and today we got Jack, Jarrod, Matt, and Evan. How's it going this morning, guys?
What podcast is it?
52. Yeah, wow.
52.
Whoosh. What is time? How does it work?
Beats me,
Yeah.
but it just keeps on chugging. Like a train on a hill going down.
Going down. Just a constant downhill. What a metaphor.
Or a funicular.
A funicular. Evan knows the way to my heart is with
Yeah.
funicular.
So this week,
That's the,
This week I was going through gaming news and stuff, and I just saw like a wall of negative press. And so you know what it inspired me to do? It inspired me to create a whole new segment on this podcast. Welcome, everyone,
This is the
to
big
the
guy.
video game stool. Because it's shit. Ha ha! Woohoo! All right.
That's the bit.
That's
the whole thing?
more. I'm over here now. That's the bit.
is there no second camera angle to zoom in on
I
you?
couldn't on Discord. It couldn't work. I tried and. Anyway, so I don't know if you guys
Disagreeing.
know. There's a game called Trackmania. It came out quite a while ago, but they're doing a remaster. And so the fans of the game were excited. Yay, new game. Woohoo. And but it's free to play, but then they sprinkle in some extra knowledge that there's also you have to pay for a certain amount of time. So you could pay monthly to access premium features, yearly, or even 3 years. Now, most people would call this a subscription model. Am I wrong in saying that?
No, that sounds right.
No, you were not
No.
wrong.
Yeah, that's
You're not wrong
And
in saying
so the fans were like, boo, we don't like this. And the developers were like, whoa. Actually, it's not a subscription model. It's simply access to the game for a limited time. You essentially are paying for access to the game for one period, and that's it. When the time's over, you just buy the game over and over again. And that's how we designed our game. And so the internet was like, thank you for describing a subscription model. What are you saying? And so the internet got flamed and stuff, as it does, until they finally came out. They're like, all right. So maybe it is a subscription model, but that's not the point. And so that was their defense. And so that's example A of the video game industry being shit. Any comments or reaction to that story?
I thought the stool segment was going to be about like good things in the gaming
Stool is
industry.
poop, Evan.
The stool is poop. Okay.
That is,
Hey,
yeah,
hey,
that's the math behind it.
Well, you know what? First off, Peter, I like your bit. Good bit.
Thanks.
I can't wait to see more of it. Gives the podcast a little bit more structure, so I dig it.
Mhm.
Second, I'm glad there's nothing more important happening than this in the news right now. We really have to rally behind this cause and absolutely jump upon it and make sure these developers know what a horrible injustice they've committed. And for the people listening at home, this is absolutely sarcasm, just in case that's lost on anybody.
Just in case my tone of voice hasn't yet conveyed that information.
Sometimes,
is it any worse? What's that game we were talking about a little while ago? The culling, the pay per game. God, what a dumpster fire that was! I feel like you can't do any worse than that in this day and age.
Oh, Matt. But our second story might impress you. Take-Two Interactive takes it over the line. So, there might, in the indie game world, you guys might have heard about Kerbal Space Program. It's a gem.
Oh, yeah.
Mwah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yes.
And so, they've been working on a sequel for quite a while now. An indie company under Take-Two Interactive who's publishing it. Then, suddenly, one Friday evening last December, the majority of the development team gets a weird gets a weird message on their LinkedIn saying from Take-Two, their publisher, saying, "Hey, your game was just canceled. How about you leave that studio and come work for us? Because we're setting up a new studio that's continuing this game, and we'll pay you lots of money." So essentially, they were just trying to steal the game from the indie developer to have it completely owned by them and steal their developers, thus destroying the company. And there was no word to the senior management or anything. Everyone learned of this via a LinkedIn message.
Talk about a hostile takeover.
That's exactly.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That is such scum.
What's the timeline? What's the timeline there? Like, all of these developers found out that their game was getting canceled through some other motherfuckers messaging them and being
so this company, the only way they're receiving funding is through this partnership with Take-Two, who's helping them publish Kerbal Space Program 2. And so now this company says, Your game is canceled. It sends a message to all
this
the
company Take-Two Interactive.
Yeah, that they're working with. We're pulling your funding. The game is canceled. But we're still working on it if you want to join this new company that we own. So they're destroying the indie company and making it all built under them.
Okay, so they basically said, we're not going to publish your game.
Pretty much.
But come work for us and we'll publish your game.
That must be...
Can't they just publish the game themselves? Do they not have enough money?
They can't pay. This was their only source of revenue.
How do they not have the money? Kerbal Space Program's like a huge game.
That was years ago, man. That was years.
It's still a huge game. I saw something the other day that says like, I think it's SpaceX or something's putting a bunch of their models into the game in order to like make. They're pretty much using it as a testing ground for people to just mess around with on Kerbal Space Program.
That's funny.
No, but
so hang on. But Take-Two doesn't own this indie company, right?
No,
it's just like a publishing agreement.
Yeah.
So what Take-Two did is completely illegal, trying to steal the stuff from. So
yeah, that's a breach of contract.
Yeah, absolutely, it is.
But they got away with it.
Well, it depends if their contract actually said that.
Yeah. I bet it did. Well, because this all happened. The indie company, it closed down. It's dead now because of this. The Kerbal Space Program 2 is still being worked on under Take-Two, but the original indie team, dead.
Oh.
That's just not right.
Well, because they were like, all right, guy, we're going to try to recover from this. But then the recent things in the world happened earlier in the year, so they couldn't get any more deals or anything, so the company just went under. Take-Two killed them.
Holy shit!
God.
Yeah, craziness, crazy. Now that could just casually happen.
But Take-Two doesn't have any Take-Two doesn't have any legal rights to Kerbal Space Program if they don't own the indie developer.
I don't know the details, but
they strong armed them because they knew they were the only way that the indie company was going to get money to complete the game. So they said, "Yeah, you're screwed, and unless you come work for us." Bye-bye game.
Yeah, like as soon as they got that message, I think about 5 key team members left, and that really cut the legs out from under the indie team.
So these 5 people who are presumably higher ups in the video game industry or the indie scene are like, okay, yeah, this LinkedIn message seems above the board.
It was promising cash bonuses and stuff. You're working under a big company, financial stability.
I guess, yeah.
But
passion versus profit.
Down with the indie games.
Nobody in the indie company thought to maybe try a Kickstarter to get Kerbal Space Program going.
Panic. That's what I assume.
Wow.
Damn. Well, actually, if they had thought of doing a
Kickstarter, then
they would have had like massive support, because like if it came out in the public like it clearly did, since you're sitting in your stool and everything, if the information is public and caused a little storm that because they did that, then you'd really think that they would think to take advantage of that and set up a Kickstarter. Did you guys see the Wonderful 101 got remastered for, I think it was Switch and maybe also PS4 or something, literally just because there's enough like decent fans of the game that Platinum was like, yo, give us enough of your money and we'll remaster it.
Now we just need that for Team Buddies.
Yeah.
Where's the Team Buddies remake?
Come on. Where's Team Buddies Live and Reloaded?
I thought that news was some shit. Hence why it's being told on the stool segment.
I can't believe... Well, I mean, I understand why that's not being talked about right now, but I can't believe I didn't hear anything about it.
It's crazy, man.
And I can't believe that Take-Two got away with it.
I was going to say, I feel like that was strategically planned.
And EA's done stuff like this.
There's got to be like some... There have to be like some people from the original indie team who are like maybe in charge, who jump ship to Take-Two and manage to like bring a lot of the assets and people over for whatever reason.
That's what it sounds like.
There's no way that Take-Two could do this without having like some people on the inside supporting them.
Yeah.
Especially from like a legal standpoint.
I feel like it's just an inexperience with like I think like Peter said, it was just a fear thing where it's like, oh no, the economy, what's happening? But I feel like yes, it's kind of a struggle for everyone financially, but I feel if there's one industry that's not going to be as negatively impacted by it, it's the tech industry.
I think that the tech industry is like, I don't know the numbers on this, but I don't think they've been like as badly impacted impacted at all. I think maybe some like stock prices here and there.
Yeah.
But like for an indie company and like Take-Two, that doesn't matter. because people are staying home playing video games. Stuff.
That's what I was going to say. Like maybe for big computer companies, they might have taken a bit of a hit just because people they're not able to sell their computers outright in store, and there's still that good portion of people that like to buy stuff in store.
Yeah, but like people are still buying digital copies of games. Like I bet if Steam released their numbers for the past couple months, I bet they've made more than they normally do.
Yeah.
Especially if they've been pushing sales and stuff like that. Let me do some
little bit of digging here for you, Jack.
Because like in my industry, sales have actually increased due to everything that's going on. Yeah, exactly, right?
Makes lots of sense.
Like I've been so busy since I got back from Australia. It's nuts.
It's good though. It's good.
Mm-hmm. It's awesome, but it's so weird seeing how like that can happen to certain parts of the economy when everyone else is like struggling to find work. It makes you feel a little bit guilty, but also really thankful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. I think it's the big companies that are better off. Like it is if regardless if it's a tech company or if it's a regular company, if you have if one, you don't actually need people to physically go to a spot to purchase your product, you'll be okay. And two, if you have enough resources to just have people work from home, you're going to be fine. Like you probably were barely affected. Maybe a little bit of productivity went down.
Speaking of big companies,
if it's anything to compliment on that, Steam had a major drop in people in September 2019-ish to 14.1 million, and then March 20th they went up to their highest number of people ever to 20.3 million people on their platform.
It's just tragic to see that number go to zero now that the Epic Games Store is releasing all these free games. The competition's too stiff. Epic Games came out with I think it was 2 or 3 heavy hitters for their free games, and then they just came out with Overcooked this week. And it's like, all right, so the rest of these games are probably just going to be small games now.
Everyone's forgotten. People were like messaging about it in my work group chat. They're like, everyone, just so you know, if you go in the Epic Games Store within the week, you get GTA 5 for free. And then someone else is like, yeah, then it's going to be Civ 6, then it's going to be Ark, and everyone's like losing their fucking minds. And then no one's talking
The thing is they didn't do it smart with, and I feel like the developers of Civ 6 wouldn't allow this, but they did the base game like before even Rise and Fall and whatever the newest one, it's like Breaking Storm or whatever.
Well, I wonder how that works. Like, does Epic Games just need to pay Sid Meier just for all those games that got given away for free?
I don't know. I'm very curious about how that sort of thing works.
Yeah,
I'd assume they would have had to do they would have had to do something for that. But I mean, I feel like their turnaround they're hoping would be massive from games like that, right? Like GTA, Civ has a pretty large audience. Borderlands has a fucking enormous audience.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So it's like I feel like they did it. Those 3 games, they almost don't need to have any more huge games come out because they just targeted huge audiences.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I assume it's an arrangement similar to like what Game Pass does. Like, probably paid this developer a certain amount of money to offer their game for free because it benefits whatever platform it is, but it also benefits the game's kind of player base, having like a bunch of new people and stuff. And like, GTA 5 with GTA Online, and what were the other 2 games?
GTA 5, Civ 6, then the Borderlands Handsome Collection, and now it's Overcooked.
I see. Yeah. Like I feel like any of these games, if they have like a decent amount of DLC or just like an availability to pay more money, then it is still beneficial. Like, you get GTA 5 for free. You've somehow been living under a rock for the past decade and never knew that it existed. You get the game for free. You start playing online. You're like, holy shit, this is the most fun I've ever had playing any video game ever. And I got this for free. So you start just dumping money into GTA 5 online so you can buy a Lamborghini or whatever Rockstar knockoff.
Yeah, it's the same business model of like Microsoft paying Ninja to move to Mixer.
And,
trying to sell through exposure to something, hoping you'll jump ship to their platform because these incentives, I guess.
Does it work? I don't really know, but
I don't know. Maybe to some extent that you've got to imagine they see a little bit of growth because of it, but places like Twitch and Steam are just so entrenched in the cultural mindset of people who are kind of in the games industry or adjacent to it, or play games, that it's tough to kind of break down those barriers and have competition come in. But they're trying. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you have any more bits, Peter?
Actually, before we move on from Epic Games too far, I just looked it up, and they actually do have a schedule of what games are coming. So,
how far does it go to?
What are we in? Apparently they've been doing this for. Oh no, never mind. They don't have of what's coming, but apparently they've been doing this all year.
Oh.
And only people just started paying attention. Like at the beginning of the first game to be released was Darksiders. Oh no, it was Yooka-Laylee. Hello Neighbor. Wow, they've been doing this for. Oh my god. They've been doing this since. They've been doing this since December 2018, where they gave Subnautica.
Holy smokes!
That's impressive. Of missed free games.
But I think now the big thing is that it's big games. But I mean, I don't know if Overcooked is technically a big game.
Well, I mean, I guess the idea, for the younger families, it'd be a bigger one.
My family loves Overcooked. My family gets a huge kick out of Overcooked. I guess it was like, they probably did like a few decently big games in a row, because like the fact that they were offering GTA 5 for free is like a massive publicity boost.
No, because it's supposed to be a big game every week for all of 2020. Whereas, like, before this, they were coming out with games like, I guess they gave Watch Dogs for free at one point, but then other games like Kingdom Come, Ticket to Ride,
nice,
The Bridge, other things like that. So,
Thank
you. A little cameo appearance. Let's go.
Nice.
Hey, well done. Actually, let's let Peter finish his thing so he can come back to the comfy chair. That stool's probably getting really uncomfortable.
Oh, it's actually not bad. I'm used to reading a lot of
Okay, well, you can.
All right, so speaking of big companies and if they're doing well or not, people are upset at Activision. The CEO has been making record numbers in terms of compensation. Since 2016, he's received nearly $100 million. Well,
for what?
In pay. That's his pay.
Oh.
Since 2016, he's received about $100 million.
He made all those Call of Duty games. Like, that's a lot of work for one guy.
That pool of money for just one guy, that's that's about the amount that goes to all the CEOs at similar companies. So he's making way above what others in his position are making. And it's also confusing considering that over 800 staff were laid off in early 2016 despite record years, cutting costs, and the CEO making lots of money.
Yeah. That actually, I mean, is that it for that?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. That brings up a thought for me, because, like, you know how, like, Jeff Bezos is now, like, super rich, and, like, I think
now he is.
Yeah, he's on track to be the first trillionaire ever. We don't, like, that's like looked down on because he has workers at the bottom line that have horrible working conditions and whatnot. But I was curious, like, would people feel the same way about, like, let's take what's the guy's name from Stardew Valley? What's the person's name again?
Eric Barone, Concerned Ape.
Concerned Ape, Eric Barone. So he made this game all by himself. Sure, he has help now, but let's just say he didn't have help. And somehow this guy just made these games over and over again until he became a trillionaire because the games are just so successful. So he got to there all by himself, without putting any other person in poor working conditions. Would people hold him to on a higher pedestal because of that? Because he never it's all him?
The short answer is yes. The long answer is it depends who you talk to. Some people see pretty much any wealth as a sign of corruption and endemically bad to society, whereas some people just see like worker exploitation and like poor working conditions and all that stuff as being awful. So it really depends who you talk to. Some people don't care at all. Some people are like, oh, it doesn't matter that Amazon warehouse employees can't go to the bathroom on their shift as long as this guy who looks like a hard-boiled egg gets to become a trillionaire.
Yeah.
But yeah, if Eric Baroni has definitely become very successful during the past few years because of Stardew Valley. Nobody is going to call for his head, you know, when should the revolution ever come, which it probably never will. But you know,
well, never say never.
Yeah. Not.
But yes,
different revolutions.
Screw this Activision guy because
yeah.
But that's a big issue. That's a big issue in a lot of industries where you have the administration body making stupid amounts of money and they cut the lower end. Right?
Yeah, I remember when I was at Concordia University, there was posters all over the place for the head honcho of the university getting paid an outrageous amount of money. I feel like it's actually very common.
The Alberta School Board. The Alberta School Board's a great example. They laid off a bunch of teachers, but the administration body's still making over $1 million each, right? So it's like you just laid off literally the people that provide the new generation with education just so that some person that sits at their computer and says, you know what, school, you should do this today, or you should do this
less money today,
and make $1 million, right? Like the teachers make nothing, and yet they're probably the most crucial.
Though, Jarrod?
I don't fucking care. But yeah, like I feel like that's most industries where you just have the higher ups, like large industries. I feel like the smaller you are, a little bit less corrupt you become. But like as you get bigger, it usually goes that way. The administration bodies run with it because money and capitalism drives a lot of motive.
I can't wait.
Money is evil. Money is evil.
Like once we get big enough, Peter's gonna be a corrupt little bitch.
That's
like we already know that.
Yeah, no, I'm not lying, guys. I need someone to hold my ethics in check for me.
I can't imagine the freaking power moves that Peter's gonna start making when we get a lot of money.
Peter's our HR department. Yeah, eventually it's just gonna be Peter. He's gonna push us all out. He's going to send us LinkedIn messages, and we're going to have to quit.
Yeah.
You guys are moving to the third YouTube channel of Live Connection. Sorry, guys. I'll take over the main.
The vault vents.
I can't say the stool segment was pleasant, but it's not supposed to be pleasant.
I appreciate the attempt for change. That actually does remind me of something, though. So what I've been doing for my setup that I have here that you can see, if I open a different tab on a website, I don't get good lighting. So I've been routinely just Googling something and having the Google search result open because it gives me light for my screen. And so I Googled Live Connection, and I found...
Did you find the puppy stream that's always on?
It's the third results, and it's www.liveconnection.org. And I was like, oh yeah, because I remembered that we have a website domain, and it said no information is available for this page. Learn why. And I was very fascinated by it. And I was like, that's interesting. I wonder if there's anything actually on our website. And I open it up, and hold on.
It better not be a Happy Peter or something.
It's we don't have .org.
No, we have
I know. I realized it's
.ca.
Oh, this is
let's see.
What have you led me into, Matt?
Oh boy.
Yeah. So we share our name as an organization with. I suppose this is a
church building.
Christian.
Oh, it's a mission. It's a mission thing. It's
Live Connection.
It's a .org, which means it's a non-profit.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got homies. We should call them up and see if they can do a collab.
What? I feel like we're literally the last people a group like that would want to do a collaboration with.
You hear about the gaming news
I want
this
to do
week?
it with too.
You know what's actually on that note, when you Google when you YouTube live connection, it doesn't show up anymore. But for the longest time, the first result would always be like a live stream of just like puppies playing.
How do we compete with that? That's not fair.
I don't know how we compete.
No wonder no one clicks on our shit. They Google us and let fucking puppies come up. I'd click on that too.
Even when I look for our stuff, I'm like, oh, puppy stream. What's that all about?
Yeah.
You're like, well, I wonder what live connection streaming today. Oh, puppies!
Oh, good. Finally, some content I want to watch.
Although I did just realize we are actually the 4th result if you Google live connection.
We are, yeah. I was just looking at that.
But although we're after all of the videos they come up with, because I guess live connection's associated with whatever this organization is, but then it's also associated with something to do with SAP.
Live connection reviews on Glassdoor. Let's see what's happening with us.
Apparently, live we have 100. No, Matt, it is different. It has an S at the end.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, it's across the board. The CEO is approved, and 92% would recommend to a friend. Wow. Very nice.
Okay, so what we need is 92% of these people to fucking make a mistake and click on our link, and then be like, "Wow, these guys are fucking amazing." Or they'll say, "Wow, these puppies are adorable."
Or they'll say, "Damn, I really wanted to build a church in Rwanda."
But that stool segment is pretty good. I think it'll stick around.
That was good. Yeah, I like that one.
Well, I mean, I guess that's your opinion, Peter, but that's fine.
Actually, I have another piece of news if you guys want to hear it.
I'd love to.
Lay it on me.
Yeah, do that.
So I think we talked about this a little in the past. Like how Xbox is doing the smart delivery system. If you buy a game on this gen, you'll get it next gen for free for certain titles.
Yeah.
Well, EA was like, ooh, that's a good idea, but we're going to make our own version of it. And first off, they called it dual entitlement. That's the program name. I don't know. I don't know what that's about, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Anyway, so with Madden, what they're doing is you can upgrade your game if you buy it between December 31st, 2020 and March 31st, 2021. So they're giving people a 3-month window to upgrade. And they're like, yeah, we are also good, everyone. See? Microsoft, you can upgrade whenever you want in the future, but you got 3 months with us. We appreciate you.
And you know, EA
how
made
many
that
games
decision
come
and they were
out?
like, you're welcome.
How many games come out in 3-month period? Like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Like, they're gonna release one game, or they'll force like all their companies to release unfinished games, and they'll be like, but you bought it in this 3-month period. You could upgrade immediately. You don't have to do anything.
And so then
the timing is suspicious as well, because it makes it look like they're trying to bump up sales figures for the fourth quarter and then the first quarter respectively.
And so the internet was obviously not happy about this. So I was like, okay, we saw your feedback and we apologize. So now you can upgrade all the way until the next Madden game's out, but then you can't upgrade anymore after that. So they fixed the problem, but it's still not great.
A problem.
Who in that boardroom is adamant on this whole limited upgrade period?
Like, Microsoft is doing it, so we have to do it worse.
They're like, fine, we'll give it to them, but they're still gonna have to upgrade within a certain period.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, we gotta boycott it a little more, and then they'll come back like, fine, you pushed our hand. You now have a 9-month period to upgrade your fucking game.
Hey, I've been boycotting Madden games my whole life, so
yeah,
me too.
I just thought it was hilarious that they just extended.
I will say that EA did release on their EA Access. They did release all their 2020 sports games that they never usually do. They usually wait till the new one's out and then put it on EA Access, and I think that has a lot to do with the what's going on in the world.
I mean, that's cool that they're doing that.
Just to
the 2020 sports games are actually pretty good.
Are they? What do you?
Sorry, Jared.
What?
Can you start talking again so I can talk over you again?
The 2020 games are pretty. I was playing NHL 2020 the other day for like 5 seconds just to see if it was any better than 2019. the graphics did take a pretty good jump. Like they do look a lot better.
I don't know if I
the
believe
gameplay
that.
though. The gameplay doesn't change. It's a sports game. Well, you can't really change anything. They can't make it authentic in any way.
Well, did they make it so there's no odd crowd in the games?
I know what.
Did they make it so there's no crowd in the 2020 games?
You're so funny, Evan.
What? That's accurate. I want accuracy in my sports games.
The 2020 games come out in 2019, so they are accurate for what they were.
Actually, can you imagine you get NHL 2020, and then after like the first month of games, it just stops, and it's like, that is it. The pandemic stopped all future games. Have fun.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, what?
That should have been like an April Fool's. They should have quickly released an update for it that did that, and then like did another update to fix it. But that would have been a funny thing.
Yeah.
I was gonna comment on just talking about the fact that Microsoft said you can upgrade, because Sony said the exact opposite. They said we are no longer going to produce exclusively for our PlayStation 5. And I was curious what everyone's thoughts on that are, because I mean, there's benefits to that, right? Because they're focusing on that new engine. They're focusing specifically on games to make that. Yeah. Whereas Microsoft for the first little bit there is not really they may still, right? Like you still could have companies making it for both engines. So I don't know if it's more of a marketing thing where PlayStation thinks that they can do that, because I know PS4 was kind of known for that, right? Where they maximized the PlayStation 4's engine and made some very beautiful games. So I'm curious if people are just going to hope that they continue just to do that, or if it's going to draw more people in, the fact that you can upgrade your game once you get the new console.
For me personally, I'm more about the consumer friendliness rather than like the maximizing tech. Like that's great. I would like I want to see the next stage of video games and all that, but at the same time, I think it's a nice way how Microsoft's doing it. How it's like for about, I think it was 2 years they said, there you go, camera. 2 years they're gonna make games backwards compatible with this current generation, and then they'll be doing what PS5's doing. I personally like that way more.
I think it's financially smart, because you're taking into consideration that not everyone can necessarily afford a console that gets launched at a super high price. So you're not making people immediately be like, well, I feel like I have to do that, instead of being like, okay, you know what, I can wait to see how the new console is, play my games still that are coming out new, but not have to be forced into getting a new console. I mean,
yeah.
It reminds me of like, Evan, I know you and Eric, you guys sometimes say when you first got the Xbox, how it was like just you two for a while. And how it was like isolating in a sense. And I think Microsoft's trying to avoid that exact problem by doing this.
Yeah, it was really isolating. Like it was like the Wild West, and all we had to do was play Battlefield 4, and God, I got every achievement in that game, and I don't know why. It's because that's all I had.
Yeah.
That game, and then that stupid ass Rise. God, that game sucked.
The Spartan game.
Yeah, but no, it's a Wild West. It kind of sucked that you couldn't just go in a party with people on Xbox 360 anymore.
Well, and we actually talked to Jack about this, because Jack was talking whether he might go with the PS5 because of the exclusives, right, Jack? You were talking about that?
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
We kind of made our point where it's like, but my entire gaming library is on Xbox now. Like every game I own is on Xbox, and they're making everything backwards compatible. So it's like... Yeah. That's insane to me, because now it's like you're not losing any games. They're even making original Xbox games backwards compatible on the new console, which in all honesty, I was actually surprised about. I figured they would have dropped those and kind of focused more up, but I mean, that's impressive to me that they're still going to try to include games that everyone has played, because I mean, there's still some really good Xbox games. The graphics are not really there at all, but I mean, there's still nostalgia games that people play, right? Like I still play the Dead Space games. They're not the best graphically anymore, but they're still good games.
I think people really like the idea of investing money in a game and that actually being a permanent investment. Like I don't think in this day and age it really flies anymore that the moment a new console gen comes out, all of your old games are invalid, right? I think people really appreciate the idea of like constantly owning and getting to play their games, and that's like what's really satisfying about having a really expansive Xbox library as well as having Xbox Game Pass, is the idea that like all of these games are going to carry me through for a very long time. Like, I'm interested and a bit concerned to know how Nintendo's going to handle this in the next few years, because like my Switch, I buy basically all of my games digital. My Switch is absolutely crammed with these games, and I don't really want to see it where the moment the next gen Nintendo console comes out, everything that's on that console is just going to be meaningless.
Yeah,
I
was going to ask you about that, because Nintendo's like notorious for reselling games. Like
yes, especially this gen. They realized how profitable it is for them to just tune up a Wii U game mostly, but older game still, and just re-release it for the Switch and still charge $80 for it. Dude, that makes me so mad. Nintendo is so fucking bad for that. They're insanely stingy about putting their games on sale. Breath of the Wild's been out for more than 3 years, and it still goes on sale like once a freaking generation. It's ridiculous.
I want to play that game, but I don't want to pay that kind of money for it.
Yeah, I mean, it is more prone to go on sale than other than big time Nintendo games. But like fucking Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are selling for the same amount as Pokemon Sword and Shield, and that's never going to change, and that's horseshit. Like
they're not even a fraction of the game.
They were never worth $80 in the first place, but of course, Game Freak and Nintendo are like, give me that money.
One other thing I was going to kind of talk about with that, like I know that because Xbox is giving that option, right, you can stick with your game and then upgrade it later. I wonder if they're going to I don't know if they mentioned this, I haven't paid attention enough. Are they going to make it so that if you buy the new console, you can still play with your friends who have the older console? Like, you know how they're doing a lot of cross-platform? Are they going to be able to do cross-generation as well when you're gaming? Because that would also change their sales on the new console, right? Because if for example, again, just because you can be backwards compatible and play your old games doesn't mean you can play your old games with your friends if they don't have the new console. So that's a bigger thing as well, because you could still end up running into that situation that Evan and Eric ran into, where it still feels isolated. Like, yeah, you have your games, but you can't play with anyone unless they have the new console. So I'd be curious to see if they're going to make cross-generation play a thing or not.
I assume it wouldn't be hard, like if they could bridge the gap between PS4 and Xbox and make it so I can play Warzone with somebody playing on PS4. I'm sure they can make it so I can play Warzone with somebody on the Series X.
I think they're just gonna leave that up to the developers individually, because clearly the capability is there. Like if you don't need to look further than like Rocket League or Rocket League, Minecraft, Fortnite, Call of Duty. So I think it's up to the developer to put that in. It's just, I guess the next step is allowing like a party system to be able to go between the consoles.
That's more what I'm talking about. Like I understand, like you could probably play games, but like just being able to interact with your friends.
Just put Discord on console.
Actually, yeah. Just have Discord built into the console.
Could you imagine the deal if Microsoft or one of the big companies swung a deal with Discord just to be like, you're with us now?
Microsoft tried to fucking boot Skype in originally, so
yeah, Skype would have been perfect, but it just functioned like dog shit. And it was either use Skype or use the equally terrible and shoddy Xbox Live party system at the time.
It always blows my mind. Like,
yeah, the parties. I don't know how they went from the 360, where the party system, where it had its issues, but it worked, and it worked great. And then all of a sudden, the new generation, it took them like a year and a half to figure out how to make it work properly. Like, I don't know what happens
with parties sometimes.
We do.
Yeah.
Oh, recently. There's that month that we had a bit of an issue there where we were trying to figure out how to do stuff, because it's a pain in the ass when you're trying to do Xbox games, but you're on Discord because you can't hear shit on your headphones. So you have to have like 3 different headphones plugged in just to get game audio.
Wires everywhere.
Yeah. I love when somebody leaves the party and the entire party just dissolves. It just stops working.
Yeah.
That never happened on the 360.
No.
My favorite was is when someone joins and then you're the only one that you like made everyone else start connecting instead of being connected like they were, and you're just sitting there like, oh, this is great. I wonder when they're gonna connect.
I wonder where my friends are.
At least it got rid of, like, remember that how on the 360 if you like the mic was always just barely in your controller, and if you accidentally hit it out and plugged it back in, your mic just wouldn't work anymore. So I remember, like, one thing I read online is you're supposed to turn off your Xbox, unplug the mic, go behind your Xbox, plug the mic back in, then turn the Xbox on with your controller. And it did work. I don't know if that was the only way to make it work, but that method worked. The problem for me is my TV and Xbox were on like a built-in cabinet that was in the corner of like next to the staircase. So to get behind the Xbox, I had to like jump over the banister on the staircase to get behind the TV and crouch down there with all the cables and shit and do all that and then jump back over. It was a process. It was annoying as shit. Now they fixed it by just making it so that if your controller stops working and the party system just stops working, you have no hope. There's nothing you can do. So you may as well just stop. It makes it easier.
Okay, boys, I've got a little survey for everybody, kind of based on our discussions. Are you A, getting the Series X on launch, B, waiting a little while to get the Series X, or C, not getting the Series X at all and just transitioning to PC?
I have no idea.
I mean, Evan, I know you've been gradually transitioning to PC recently because it's been a little bit of a wave within kind of our friends that we game with, like people realizing they can do more on PC, making the upgrade to PC, getting themselves a PC set up, and then gradually transitioning all of their stuff over to PC. And considering the kind of similarities that they're going to hold in the future and kind of the cross compatibility that Xbox and Windows natively have anyways, like, depending on how Microsoft plays their cards with the Series X, it might not even necessarily be worth getting a Series X instead of just getting a decent gaming PC.
Yeah, I think I might end up going the way of the PC just because, I mean, I already don't really play much games, and when I do, I'm playing like Rocket League or like Call of Duty. Like I'm just playing games that I can get a quick fix. I don't really play these AAA titles anymore. So
yeah,
I probably won't get the Xbox X, but also regardless, I'm gonna have to spend $500 to $800 on something if I want to move forward.
That wouldn't even be you could not get a good NPC for $500, $800.
Oh, well, I already have the PC. I just need to upgrade my graphics card. I already have all the specs for an upgraded graphics card. I just need to upgrade my graphics card. That's all. So I'm not getting a brand new PC. I'm getting just an upgrade. But it's going to cost me a bunch of money.
I think I'll get it for accessibility to certain games. Like I don't mind PC gaming, but I'm still not a huge fan of it. Like certain games, I'll play on PC and they work better on PC than they do console. Yeah. Other games, doesn't matter to me. I just play.
What's interesting to me is that I mean, you guys have heard me complain about this time and time again. Like, I got this like pretty decent, in the grand scheme of things, it's not the best, but it's a pretty decent gaming laptop. But I got it for school, and for me, primarily, it's a school work laptop. I use it for editing videos for Live Connection. I used it for the rest of school and stuff. And I have a handful of games installed on here, but I've definitely put less than 10 hours, I would assume, into gaming on this PC. And it's just, I think console gaming is almost like a habit for me. It's like a device that facilitates video games, and I can't really have it any other way. And so what's interesting is, like, just as we were talking about the Series X just now, I was kind of in my mind like, I would consider getting it on launch. The right and intelligent thing to do is to give it even just a month or two and see how it does, or see if there's any glaring issues that make it not worth getting off the bat. But I've had my base model Xbox One, which they don't even sell anymore, and it still works, but it's not going to be that way forever. And I wouldn't mind upgrading to the Series X and just continuing to isolate my gaming experience to console, because like I never would have considered getting even the Xbox One X any time in the past few years, because I put almost no time into playing Xbox. My Xbox use since all this started has just absolutely catapulted upwards. But yeah, it's just I would probably consider getting the Series X.
I'm much more inclined at this point to get the next Nintendo console than I would the next.
Yeah, that's a for sure for me. If the Switch Pro is like the truth, then I'm getting it for sure. Guys, I gotta run for like 2 seconds. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's like if everyone else is gonna get it, most of my games I play with people, and that's just how it is. And I mean, like I play Siege on PC because there's really no other way for that game. And I play like Civilization because playing strategy games on console is poo to do anything. So I mean, besides that, I don't know. I play games mostly with friends, and that's kind of where I go for it. And if most people are going to be on Xbox, I'll do it on Xbox. Right. And at least, like, I'm not the best PC. I'm the best Xbox gamer, but I'm definitely better on Xbox than I am on PC, with the exception of Siege.
Yeah, but that's also why I consider the PC route, because Xbox and PC pretty much and it will eventually get to the point where they have the exact same games and you can play with each other on every single one of those games. So
as long as the developers allow that.
Yeah, but for the most part, it won't make a difference, you know?
No, true. I'm just thinking, like, until cross-platform play is on majority games, I'd say it's not necessarily worth for me to deviate away from what everyone else is getting, because I don't game enough on my own to make it worth it until it's all cross-platform. Once it's cross-platform, fucking it doesn't matter what you get, right? You could fucking get a PlayStation, get a PC, get a Nintendo Switch, you could get an Xbox, doesn't matter.
Don't get a Nintendo Switch.
As Peter's
that's a nice Switch you have there, Peter.
Yeah.
For me, yeah. Shut up, Peter. For me, it's like, I think people in our friend group always forget I waited 2 or 3 years before upgrading to the Xbox One, so it's not something that really is a big concern for me. I'm not really worried about missing out on anything, because I didn't really miss much those first 2 years. Like, I didn't miss it at all. I still had a 360 for when I wanted to play games, and I only upgraded when it was like, oh, Witcher 3 looks like a good game. I really want to play that. Or I was like, oh, I've got this copy of Far Cry 4 or whatever it was, so I want to play that. And I just had an Xbox in my dorm room, and I gamed way more than I should have when I should have been going to class and studying. So that was great. But for me, it's like I mostly just want to play single-player stuff that's really, really cool. And for that, I can either upgrade to one or the other console, or I can, do whatever, wait. It doesn't matter. There's no rush for me, honestly. So I'll make the decision when I feel like the information is available, and there's no way I'm going to get anything on launch unless they really, really sell it.
Yeah.
Like, they'd have to do an amazing sales job to prove to me that this is something I need to have for either console.
It just comes down to what they're going to release on it. But I'm the same way. Yeah. I'm the same way where it's like, I just don't... Yeah. I have no need to buy it right now. Like, I don't play games enough to give a good reason to myself to drop that kind of money on something.
Exactly.
Like,
it's so many other hobbies. Like, if I spent like a ton of money on video games, I wouldn't be able to do the other things I enjoy to do. And I'm never going to buy like a high-end gaming PC because I don't want to. I don't want to do that stuff. If I get a high-end PC or whatever, it's going to be for like editing, for like music stuff, and even that
home studio.
I rarely do. Yeah, so it's just not on my radar at all. So we'll see. They'd have to really, really sell it to me, but odds are it'll be a year or two after launch if I ever get the next gen consoles.
I mean, the Series X is a big boy. You better measure out that space first. Like, make sure you have enough room to create.
I don't think it's big, Peter. I think you just have some idea in your head that's massive.
Okay. Just wait.
You can
it's like this big. It's like this big. Right? It's like this big, and then this big.
I don't believe that.
Peter, it's the size. It's the size of a. It's literally the size of an 8 terabit.
It's the size of a water bottle, but square. And
that was a great opportunity for a Yeti mug joke. You missed out. You fucked up.
I need to save $2,000 to buy Gatebox waifu when she becomes available.
It's like, I guess there's something about it.
That's fucking dumb.
Because it's small, Peter.
300 millimeters. Why would they? Why not centimeters?
That's
the biggest thing on it is the freaking HDMI port.
It's literally a ruler. That means it's like this big only. That's literally as big as it is currently, except it's a square.
No, I have to clear out a whole room to fit this new console.
Peter, it's 10 centimeters.
It's like, you know how old computers were so big? That's what this is essentially.
Peter, it's smaller than your PC that you have sitting on your desk right now.
Nope.
Peter, you're probably gonna knock it on the ground regardless. So.
Yeah. Can you have it on its side, or does it have to be?
I think you can.
You actually have to levitate it. You need to tie strings to the four corners of the room in order to keep it. That's how you get the best circulation to cool it off.
It's bigger than I like. That's all I'm saying.
Peter, it's smaller than every other console that you have.
Muting Jarrod.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I'm just saying, like, your argument is that it's too big, and yet you have everything you own right now is bigger than what it is.
Too big. That doesn't mean these things I have are not too big. That means they're even bigger.
You're so hard to please.
Peter just lives in a big
literally world. The hardest person to please in the world.
Yeah. I just want a small console. That's all I want.
Peter.
The only one that entitled statement makes sense with is you.
Go play your Soldier Boy thing, whatever it is.
Ooh, the Soldier Boy.
Oh yeah.
Still sell that.
Yeah. The pirated. Dude, I played that thing that Peter has. It's like it runs games like a freaking toaster.
I don't
That's
have the
ridiculous.
Soldier Boy console.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't get an illegal pirated gaming device.
Oh, he doesn't have the Soldier Boy.
No,
he has some other
thing.
One.
Yeah.
And
what's that weird one?
It runs beautifully. You're just garbage
dude,
handheld
I played
consoles.
Pokemon Fire Red on there. It runs like shit.
That's because, Matt, you slow down the game speed. When you slow down the game speed, it makes things go slow.
Can you play Team Buddies on it, Peter?
Me? I don't know.
No, I think it was only handheld stuff when I played it.
Can someone find out what I need to download to play Team Buddies? Because the last time I tried, I think I accidentally downloaded a virus.
Nice.
You should ask your scratching hand. It looks intelligent.
I definitely almost installed a Trojan on my computer twice when I was downloading some sound effects to use for my next video. Luckily, Bitdefender came through for me. I don't know.
Why don't you just use Audio Hero? We have a thing for it.
No, we got rid of it.
Well, it still works for me. I still download stuff from it.
No, you see, it takes a certain amount of credits to download a song. So once we run out, we're done.
So Evan's just using.
Well, it was just sound effects. It was just like Mimi sound effects that there's no like specified board to just go and get them. You know.
Why don't you just go to the YouTube audio library?
Like he's looking for like certain things.
Yeah, but you go to the Sound Effects Media Library on YouTube. They have quite a bit.
If I go to Sound Effects Media Library, is there going to be the sound bit of Happy Feet Wama combo?
Remember, Jarrod's not really relevant on the memes, guys. So let's just take that into consideration.
Yeah.
Before
why don't you just Google? Why don't you just get it off YouTube then?
That's what
That's what I had to do.
Yeah, but why don't you just do that anyways? Anything that's super specific, that's what I do. I don't go.
Well, I use the YouTube to MP3 converter, and I must have picked a pretty shady one.
Matt, why don't you go to memebase.com to get your memes?
Who of these people are we sponsored by? I just want to
another option, Matt, is you can always just use Streamlabs OBS to record the video and then just get rid of the video piece.
That's big.
Well, it wasn't even the video that I was looking for. It was the I was just the sound bit.
Our Discord.
Yeah, but to get the sound bit.
Graydon, you're just in time to finish the podcast. Give us the outro, Graydon.
Wait. I'm sorry. Okay. I wanted to ask sooner. I want to bring back a time-honored segment here on our podcast. Can I have 5 minutes to talk about Pokemon?
No.
No, because the podcast is over.
Your webcam.
I literally had about Dead by Daylight, and you wanted to talk about that.
I know. I feel so robbed.
No, podcast is over. We're going. We got stuff to do.
It doesn't even take me 5 minutes. Come on.
We got stuff to do.
You know what? That's fine. That's fine, Evan. That's fine. I never get to say my piece. I never get the chance to participate in these things at all. I sat and listened to you waffle on about Team Buddies for a whole minute and a half, but that's fine. No, I won't.
I don't even think it was 30 seconds, but yeah.
No, it's fine. It felt like a minute and a half, so it's fine.
Well, when you talk about Pokemon, it feels like a lifetime.
Poor Jarrod got talked over by you, and then poor Jarrod talked over me.
Yeah.
There's no justice in this living world, so you know what? We're ending the podcast on a bad note.
Shall I go back on the stool?
Yes.
Give us the outro on the stool, Peter.
Give us some terrible news.
Well, guys, this just in. The LSC podcast is ending. Now, we know this is breaking news, and we need you all to stay calm at home. There will be more live connection in the future. We can reassure you of this. I have some confidential sources telling me. Let me get my notes. It appears that we stream 5 days a week. I know. Wow. Hot damn, are we ever productive. We have a YouTube channel where we upload videos, we stream, we got a Discord. That's the best way to get into touch with us if you're interested. Now,
get into touch.
Into touch. Lots of touching.
Now.
And
this is actually going to be my final podcast, as I have just received a message from Take Two Interactive on LinkedIn, and I am taking all of the live connection assets with me to their association.
No,
damn the legality of it all.
Very unfortunate.
Take Two, man. Well, if you want to see live connection, live to see another day, leave a like, follow us, subscribe, ring the bell, smash the bell, actually, and we'll see you on another fun, exciting Sunday. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.